the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
Anything that points towards her returning, but you never know. The door's open, so you'll have to see what she chooses, but I would be a little bit surprised if she did.
Well, if she does use this last year of eligibility and go somewhere else, there might be an obvious connection. The person that she came to Tennessee for, Kellie Harper, now at Mizzou. I mean, is that an option? And then this just kind of leads into what you think. Kellie Harper, the new women's basketball coach at Missouri.
Yeah, I was, you see the coaching searches come up across the SEC, and Kellie's name was tied to a few of them. The Auburn job as well. People talked about her, being tied to, and that
would have been weird, man. Like Bruce Pearl and Kellie Harper both being, that would just be so strange.
Which is funny because we were talking about her, like, oh yeah, they're familiar with each other. It's like, well, are they? Because she played before he was here, and then she came back to coach after he was gone. So there was never really any sort of overlap. I'm sure they've shaken hands at some SEC event or something, but it would be weird just from the Tennessee perspective just to see two former coaches over there. But I'm happy for her. It seemed like she always wanted to get back into coaching, so it's nice that she got an SEC job. It's going to be an uphill battle there. Like, I don't think they have a lot of NIL money. I don't think they have an insane amount of investment in women's basketball right now at Missouri. So it's going to be tough to get players in, and you're competing against the best teams in the country in the SEC. So you better hope you kind of stack up on some out-of-conference wins maybe before you get to the gauntlet of SEC play day in and day out. But I mean, it makes sense for Missouri in a way, I think. Like, you get a coach that's proven. You try to kind of bridge things a little bit after Robin leaves, who's been there for like 15 years. So it makes sense in some ways. It doesn't make sense in other ways. But I am glad for Kellie, who looked like on SEC Network when she did her hits, like it looked like someone that wanted to get back into coaching. So I'm glad she got an SEC job as quick as she did.
She kind of fits in the Dan Mullen thing for me, where she was good at TV. I think she was a good analyst. I think she she has a future there, and it's kind of a bummer that she's jumping back into the coaching ranks, and a tough job, like you said. Like, it's always interesting, the mindset of different coaches, because you just don't know how these folks are wired. And you look at it where, like, Dan Mullen's just sitting around, and then he takes the UNLV job, and you're like, what? And like, okay, I guess that's worth you could not pay me enough money to jump into the G5 and the portal era and everything else. Like, where you're just the headaches, and just knowing that if you do well with any of these guys, they're gone. Like, anyone you do well with and you find in the diamond in the rough, whatever, you're like, you don't like the Ashton Ginties are a rarity at that level. So I just think it's just such a tough job. But you look at Mizzou and you're like, okay, I mean, this might be your last job, like your last opportunity as at a big job is Mizzou, and it's an SEC job, so you take what you can. But like you said, it's tough, and I mean, we'll see how long you get, but I mean, you saw Mizzou in the men's side. They just went over in the SEC last year. The baseball program's the worst in the SEC. Mm-hmm. Football has had a little bit of juice there for a little while, but I don't know how much you could say right now. I mean, you got Oklahoma and Texas now in the conference. Like, I don't know. Like, part of it is, look, if you want to coach, you coach, and it's still an SEC job, you jump back in. But then there's other parts, like, you got to be kind of proactive. Like, that fire coaches, like in the NFL too, where they, like, you have to make sure, like, once you've been fired, you're like, you're not getting 3. Most people don't get 3 opportunities in the NFL. So you got to be very careful where you take that next job, because it most likely will be your last. And I don't know. I think it's a risk, but it's I think everyone's rooting for it. I've been pleasantly surprised to see the reaction to Kellie Harper getting this job, because I think everyone rooted for her, wanted it to work out in Tennessee. And I think when she's not playing Tennessee next year and going forward, they'll, I think, be rooting for Kellie and hoping that she does well. It's just, the reality is, like you said, it's a tough job, and this is probably her last opportunity as a big time college basketball head coach.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. Like, she was a player here. She won 3 championships. Pat Summitt talked great about her all the time when she was a player, and she clearly wanted it to work at Tennessee. Like, you could tell the passion she had for Tennessee, whether that was the Lady Vols program or her showing up to football games and things like that. So she understood the culture. Like, obviously she was here and experienced it. So I think fans gravitate to that. And I don't think there was hard feelings for Kellie Harper, the person, or anything like that when she was fired. So I do think fans will gravitate in a way to what she's doing over at Missouri in a passive way, like you said, like she's in the SEC, but I think they'll want to see her do well. It is tough though. Like it is rare you get a third strike. Like it's usually you get 2 strikes and you're out in coaching, and she's getting her third. And it's like, is it unfair to say Missouri's the worst athletics program in the SEC? Like, I don't know. Vanderbilt's having their kind of moment right now.
Yeah.
That's, saying they're having,
or Mississippi State's probably in there.
Mississippi State's probably in there. It's funny because you're like, well, Vandy's having their moment and they're finishing 10th and everything, and that's still just like, oh, that's fantastic for them. They're having a renaissance of sports over there, and football's worse than ever. But like, you went over the Missouri stuff. Like, they're bad in a lot of stuff, and when they're bad, they're really bad too. Like baseball and women's basketball this last year,
men's basketball last year,
and Dennis Gates. I like Dennis Gates. I think he's doing a good job there, and that ship should be steadied a little bit after last year. But you saw how scary things can get in the SEC when you're not necessarily prepared. So we'll see what Kellie can do there. It's going to be a tough situation. I guess she thought it was the best opportunity for her, and I'm sure she wanted to get back into coaching sooner than later. So
nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas podcast. Hell yeah.